Hey, so I was going back home in the MTR, aka the Underground Train of Hong Kong today, and the train suddenly stopped at one of the stations and told all of the passengers to leave, and the MTR got shut down because of some accident. So after that, I was literally stuck in an MTR station for a long time where it's just me and an ocean of people. And then after I got out of the station, I found a bus station so that I can go back home by bus. And at that bus station, I waited for 40 minutes. So, yeah, as you can probably tell, um, my entire schedule is basically delayed. And so, I originally wanted to review this album earlier today, but I obviously can't. So, right now, it's actually midnight, and I'm doing an album review on the new C AllStar album 人類世 the humankind, or at least that's how I would translate it. I know it doesn't exactly mean humankind, but the nicest way for me to translate it is humankind. So, C AllStar, Cantopop group, band in Hong Kong, C AllStar, they are back with a new album. Earlier this year, when I was doing my streak of Hong Kong album reviews, I reviewed 我們的烏托圖 by C AllStar, which came out roughly 2 decades ago, which is an album that I actually surprisingly enjoyed. It is a pleasantly smooth, calming, wholesome, heartwarming album with very nice lyrics about saving the environment and being friendly and nice to each other. And so, after some hiatus, C AllStar has returned in the year 2021 for a new album, and there has been a lot of noise and a lot of hype surrounding it, including even for my friend Cedric's girlfriend Sharon is really happy that C AllStar dropped a new album and is talking about them again and again on Instagram. So I have to check out the new C AllStar album, and instead of reviewing an older Hong Kong album because I didn't really have a lot of time left in Hong Kong, you know what? Let me review this album as a part of my streak of Hong Kong album reviews. So far I've reviewed 4 albums from Hong Kong in this streak. A metal album, a Cantorock album, and I think a couple of singer-songwriter albums, and all 4 of which are kinda not great. The metal album, Titsuran, was actually way better than I'd imagined, but then we have singer-songwriters like Terrence Lamb, whose music is just incredibly forgettable and bland. And then we have the Cantorock band Color, whose music is just as bland and as boring. Anyways, once again, C AllStar returns with a very nice, heartwarming, and calming performances. Their vocal work isn't the greatest of all times, but they have chemistry. When they sing together, they sing with passion, and I really like that. And once again, they have returned with some really nice, wholesome, eco-friendly lyrical topics talking about how much we need to save our environment. And that is pretty much an overall concept for this album, because every single track on this album also somehow relates to environmental conservation. And what I like about this album is that C AllStar actually updated their sound a little bit to fit in with the 2020s music industry. Their sound on this album and their sound 2 decades ago aren't completely different, but they sound more updated. That being said though, just because it sounds updated doesn't mean it sounds good. Starting off, the album has the intro track 進入元宇宙 or Into the Metaverse. There is actually an official English translation for every single track title here, but I'm not going to use them because they are actually not accurate translations. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more accurate with the translation. So 進入元宇宙, Into the Metaverse. And it starts off with soft synths and a really nice sequenced beat. And then we have several news clips of about environmental disasters, and it just very smoothly builds up to the first core track, 給人類的一份宣言, a declaration for the humans. And this track actually started off really surprising because I've never expected C AllStar to go funk. The track has these funky guitars, these analog synths, and these auto-tune vocals, and honestly, I was completely blown away. The problem is that the production is bad. The vocals are kind of auto-tuned and manipulated, and I appreciate that they're trying to be a little bit more experimental, but the production is just bad. The vocals sound really muffled and buried under the mix. It sounds like listening to a song in 144p for audio. I know 144p is for video quality, but you get the idea. The production is bad. If the production was better, it would have sounded amazing. And then we have the second track, The Maldives, which has these 80s atmospheric synths and these sequenced beats, a nostalgic chord progression, and some really nice, soft vocal harmonies. And yes, once again, the vocals are a little bit muffled and a little bit manipulated on this track, which is not really all that great, but I still think it is a damn good song. It is a dreamy ballad with a lot of passionate singing, with very good lyrics, and it is a solid track from the band. Then we have the next track, 北極熊的遺言. The previous track is 馬爾代夫, which literally means the Maldives. The next track is 北極熊的遺言, the last words of a polar bear, and this track is a slow ballad with reverby guitars, and lyrically it is in the point of view of a polar bear who is stuck on a floating iceberg which is about to melt, and this is basically its dying words. And lyrically, it's actually really sad. Instrumentally, I wouldn't say it's all that great. It's pretty much average C AllStar, but because I like the lyrics on this track, I think this track is one of the more enjoyable cuts on the album. And then we have the track 集合吧，地球保衛隊. So, assemble, Earth Guardians. And this track is an uplifting guitar-driven Cantopop song that's really easygoing and simple. And once again, we have the very clunky, muffled auto-tune vocals, which I don't like. And on top of that, the songwriting, in my opinion, is a little average. It's a little by the numbers. And then afterwards, it is the track 還有48小時, which means there's only 48 hours left. And this is basically C AllStar's take on the cool lo-fi millennial indie pop style, and with the bouncing keyboards, the deconstructed trap beats, and the rap singing. Yeah, it sounds a little pandering. Yeah. And I've definitely heard bands and artists do this type of shit better, but still, in comparison with other tracks on the album, this is definitely one of the better tracks. And I also really like the lyrics about spending your last 2 days. I don't know what is the track exactly referring to as the last 2 days, the last 48 hours, but the lyrics about, spending your last 2 days wisely, just drinking, having fun. It's just a really nice, wholesome song. And then this track is followed by 黃昏與黎明之間, From Dusk Till Dawn, which is an interlude with easygoing pianos and a hip-hop beat. And that leads into 共同望銀河那時, which means when we looked at the galaxy together. And this track is a passionate, soft guitar ballad that is easily the most straightforward and catchy on the entire album. And I also really like it when the band sort of sing in harmony at times, but then sometimes they sort of sing individually and they sing off of one another, and the track is just really concise. Finally, we have the last 4 tracks of the album, and these 4 tracks are easily 4 of the blandest and most boring and uninspired tracks on the album. And the track placement is a little strange, because usually, given how slow and quiet some of these ballads are, I would like to balance them out with maybe an interlude or something, but no, it's just 4 really quiet and boring ballads back to back to back to back. And ballads are fine. Again, I've said this many times, but quiet, skeletal, stripped back ballads are fine if there is beautiful singing, beautiful chord progressions, and at least something special, something interesting that strings it along. But these 4 tracks never really do that. The track 明日的恐懼, which is A Fear of No Tomorrow, is a stripped back piano ballad with a dash of plucky strings that only showed up for like 2 seconds. The track is easily the blandest track on the entire album, and no surprise because apparently the track is written by Terrence Lamb. Again, him? Again? And then the next track is 留下來的人, which means the people who stayed behind, and it is a skeletal piano string ballad, which is a little bit more engaging, but still, as far as C AllStar goes, this is by the numbers. This is kind of middle of the road for them. One thing I like about this track is actually the music video. I like the Tenet-inspired music video, even though the music video is full of action and it completely does not match with the tone of the song. At least it is a fun one. And then it is the track 相濡以沫, or Living for Each Other. I may have mispronounced some of the words here. But this is a glassy-eyed ballad. 相濡以 What? This is a glassy-eyed ballad with nostalgic chords. Again, very by the numbers for C AllStar. And then finally, the album ends off on 時輪, the Wheel of Time, which is a pretty mediocre ending for the album. We have atmospheric guitars and strings, very average Cantopop verses and choruses, and it's just very safe and inoffensive and regular. It's just so normal. It's just so mundane. And again, sometimes meat and potatoes Cantopop doesn't hurt, and these tracks don't hurt at all, and that's fine. But given that it is 4 tracks like that back to back to back to back, I just feel really disinterested. And it just feels like such a low energy ending to the album, and it's just kind of underwhelming. So yeah, honestly, I'm not that happy with this album. There are some highlights, but there are also a lot of boring, bland moments as well as bad production. But overall, I still think it is an admirable effort. My favorite track here is 馬爾代夫, and my least favorite is 沒明日的恐懼. I'm giving C AllStar's Humankind, 人類世, strong 5 to a light 6 out of 10. So, have you listened to the latest C AllStar album? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.